When we see music written down, it looks very complicated, like seeing words written down in another language. Written music is like a language, but luckily, it's a language that isn't too difficult to learn. In today's lesson, we're going to learn how music that's written down tells us what pitch to play. Pitch is how high or how low the sound is. In our last lesson, we looked at the musical alphabet and the notes A, B, C, D, E, F and G. These are all different pitches. The title of today's lesson is The Treble and Bass Clef Staves. What on earth does that mean? Well, let's break this title down. A stave or staff is the lines across the page. For most instruments we see 5 lines grouped together. It's on this stave that we see many different symbols that tell us what to play. At the beginning of the line we see a large symbol that covers a lot of the stave. These symbols are called clefs. In today's lesson we're going to look at 2 types of clef. The treble clef and the bass clef. The treble clef is usually found when playing the middle to high pitches of a piano. It's also used for instruments that tend to play higher sounding notes, such as the flute, guitar, violin and trumpet. The bass clef is usually found when playing the lower notes of a piano, as well as instruments such as the bass guitar, trombone and double bass. So how does it tell us what pitches we have to play? Well, as we look further along the stave, we see lots of symbols with circular shapes at the end of them. These are our notes. Some of these notes sit on lines, and some in the spaces. The place where they sit tells us what pitch to play. Let's take a look at the treble clef. The bottom line is an E. If we want to go one note higher, we move up to the space, which is an F. The next note is on the second line, and that is a G. What comes after G in the musical alphabet? As you know from our previous lesson, it's an A, which is on the second space up. These notes continue in order, line, then space, line, then space. But surely there's an easier way of remembering what these notes are. Well, luckily there is. First of all, let's get rid of all the notes on the lines and just leave the spaces. Starting from the bottom, we have the notes F, A, C and E, which spells the word face. So now you know how to work out very quickly which notes are in the spaces on the treble clef. Now, let's get rid of the notes in the spaces and take a look at the lines. Starting from the bottom, we have the notes E, G, B, D and F. Unfortunately, this doesn't spell a word, so instead we can attach a word to each letter. In this lesson, we're going to use every green bus drives fast. You can of course make up your own rhyme if you want to. So what about the bass clef? The bottom line is a G. The next note in the space is an A, then B, C and so on. Now in the spaces of the bass clef we have the notes A, C, E and G. For this we'll need another rhyme. We're going to use all cows eat grass. On the lines we have the notes G, B, D, F and A. For these notes we'll use the rhyme good birds don't fly away. So let's recap. For the treble clef, face in the spaces and every green bus drives fast for the lines. For the bass clef, in the spaces we have all cows eat grass, and for the lines we have good birds don't fly away. So now, whenever you see the notes on the treble or bass clefs, you can quickly work out what note it is. First of all, look at the beginning of the line to see whether it's a treble or bass clef. Then see if the note is on a line or in a space. Then use the rhymes to help you figure out what note it is. At first it may feel like it's taking a long time to work out each note, but with practice you'll get quicker and quicker. That's the end of this lesson on the treble and bass clef staves. Click the link below to complete the quiz and test your knowledge.